Hey art nerds! Today we're going to take a look at the Lukas Aquarell 1862 watercolor set. I ordered this from Jerry's Artorama when they were having a pretty significant sale. If you are interested in more information about this watercolor set, make sure you check the description below. I will have prices, links, and pigment information listed down there for you guys. Alright, let's go ahead and open this up. We have a really nice presentation case where you can see some of the, probably all of the 24 half pans that are included in this set. And not too long ago, I reviewed the Lukas Studio Aquarell, which is their student grade set. So I believe this is their professional grade set. In 1862, Dr. Fr. Schoenfeld successfully copied the advantages of watercolors in tubes and produced a real moist watercolor in pans. In honor of this event, Lukas has given their finest artist watercolors the brand named Aquarell 1862. The carefully selected, top quality raw materials are prepared by a special production process, which gives Aquarell 1862 a very fine quality. When working with our watercolor, Aquarell 1862, you will soon recognize the following product characteristics: the incomparable transparency of the colors, the outstanding color power and brilliance, the excellent light fastness of all shades, the good controllability of the paint flow, the easy application due to the permanently moist consistency. This last characteristic differentiates our watercolors from other brands and gives them their very special advantage. All of these product characteristics form the basis of our worldwide reputation for watercolors. And these were made in England for Lukas Nurchow. And it contains cadmium, so chase your kitty cats and children away. And it seems like this box might be fairly easy to open. Inside we have, ooh, this is actually very nice. Inside we have the branded Lukas Aquarell 24 half pan tin, and then we have the half pans here in the pull-out tray. So I'm gonna pull this out, and you see it has a loop for plein air watercolor, but otherwise it is a fairly unremarkable tray. And you can get empty Lukas Aquarell palettes on Jerry's Artorama if you so choose. The colors we have here are Opaque White, Lemon Yellow Primary, Cadmium Yellow Light, Yellow Ochre, Indian Yellow, Permanent Yellow Deep, Cadmium Red Light, Permanent Red, Alizarin Crimson, Magenta Primary, Dioxine Violet, Ultramarine Light, Prussian Blue, Phthalo Blue, Cyan Primary, May Green, Chromium Oxide Green, Phthalo Green, Olive Green, English Red Light, Burnt Umber, Raw Umber, Payne's Gray, and Ivory Black. Our half pans also contain light fast information and numbers which may correspond to the pigments used, as well as a number in a circle, which I'm going to show you guys in a moment, which probably indicates the series number, which would indicate how expensive those individual colors are. And I made a mistake by putting my tray in before I had my my pans unwrapped, because now it doesn't want to come out of the palette. So I will remove these off camera. Alright art nerds, let's go ahead and unwrap all of these watercolors. Fear not, I'm going to do that in time lapse. But I wanted to take a moment to say, if you enjoy videos like this, make sure that you are subscribed and hit that bell notification. I do weekly art live streams here on the channel where I do art and product demonstrations, so if that sounds like your jam, make sure you check the community tab to see when that week's art stream is going to be. But if you click that bell notification, it'll let you know when I'm streaming. Alright friends, now we have our Lukas set all labeled and assembled. I'm going to go through the color names, pigments, and lightfastness with you guys next. Alright, so we have Opaque White, which contains PW5 and PW6. It has excellent lightfastness. It is semi-transparent and is easy to wash out. We have Lemon Yellow Primary, which is PY, excellent lightfastness, transparent and difficult to wash out. We have Cadmium Yellow Light, PY35, excellent lightfastness, opaque, difficult to wash out. Yellow Ochre Light, or Yellow Ochre. This one has Yellow Ochre written on it, but it shares the same number as Yellow Ochre Light on the sheet, and the sheet does not contain a Yellow Ochre, so I assume they just renamed it at some point during the process. PY42, excellent light fastness, semi-transparent, easy to wash out. Indian Yellow, PY153, excellent light fastness, semi-transparent, easy to wash out. Permanent Yellow Deep, PO62, excellent light fastness, transparent, easy to wash out. Cadmium Red Light, which I probably shouldn't be touching. PR108, excellent light fastness, opaque, difficult to wash out. Permanent Red, PR242, excellent light fastness, transparent, difficult to wash out. Alizarin Crimson, PR176, very good to excellent light fastness, semi-transparent, difficult to wash out. Magenta Primary, PR122, very good to excellent light fastness, transparent, difficult to wash out. Dioxine Violet, PV23, very good to excellent light fastness, semi-opaque, difficult to wash out. Ultramarine Light, PB29, excellent light fastness, semi-transparent, difficult to wash out. In our second row, we have Prussian Blue, PB27, excellent light fastness, semi-opaque, difficult to wash out. Phthalo Blue, PB15 to a ratio of 6, excellent light fastness, semi-transparent, difficult to wash out. Cyan Primary, PB15 to a ratio of 3, excellent light fastness, transparent, easy to wash out. May Green, PY175, PG7, excellent light fastness, transparent, easy to wash out. Chromium Oxide Green, PG17, excellent light fastness, opaque, difficult to wash out. Phthalo Green, PG, excellent light fastness, semi-transparent. Excellent light fastness, semi-transparent, difficult to wash out. Olive Green, PG36, PO36, excellent light fastness, semi-opaque, easy to wash out. English Red Light, PR101, excellent light fastness, opaque, difficult to wash out. Burnt Umber, PY155, PR176, PBK7, good to excellent light fastness, semi-transparent, difficult to wash out. Raw Umber, PY155, PR176, PBK7, good to excellent, very good to excellent light fastness, opaque, difficult to wash out. Payne's Gray, PR179, PB15 to a ratio of 1, PBK7. Very good to excellent light fastness, opaque, difficult to wash out, and Ivory Black, PBK7, excellent light fastness, semi-opaque, difficult to wash out. Now, some of the criteria that I am going to be testing these watercolor are incomparable transparency of colors. So we're testing for transparency, and already several colors in this set are semi-transparent, semi-opaque, and opaque. The outstanding color power and brilliance. So we are going to be looking for high saturation, high chroma, high color delivery, even when dry. The excellent light fastness of all shades. Now, many of these are rated very good to excellent, but none were rated poor, fair, or just good. The easy application due to permanently moist consistency. These all feel fairly dry. They do not feel like honey-based watercolors. Here is an example of M. Graham. Even though it is dry, it is still somewhat tacky, and you can still kind of push the paint in on the pan. That's what I think of when I think of semi-moist watercolors. I also think of liquid poured watercolors. These are extruded watercolors. You can tell when I drop the white, let me see if I can get it to pop back out again, but you can tell that it's extruded. Firstly, you see these striation lines on this? That's one of the ways that you can tell these are extruded and not poured watercolors. So these don't really have the consistency or the characteristics of permanently moist watercolors, in my opinion, but we still have to test and see. So we are going to be checking for transparency. We're going to check to make sure the colors are still very saturated even when they're dry. We're going to check for the good controllability of the paint flow, which I am not really sure what they mean by that. Maybe it'll become apparent once we start painting. And then the easy application. So these should reactivate very quickly. Okay, art nerds, our next step is to begin swatching. I have already prepared 2 sheets of Arches Cotton Rag watercolor paper with some black pigment lines that we can use to test opacity. And since we are testing 24 colors, I have 2 sheets. So I'm going to do the top row and then the bottom row on separate sheets. So what I'm going to do is I am going to place a drop of water on each half pan and allow them to soak in for a moment, and then I'm going to swatch them in time lapse and check in with you guys with my thoughts. Okay, so for the first 12 colors, I found that they were very quick to activate. They lay down very evenly. Some of the colors are quite opaque, including cadmium reds. Well, I guess not so much, but the this one, the yellow deep, seems to be quite saturated and quite opaque, as well as the dioxazine purple, as well as this yellow over here. And don't worry, I will have them all labeled for you guys once I've finished swatching. But the color is quite saturated. There is a lot of color delivery, and they are fairly easy to use, fairly easy to activate. It did seem like I was picking up a lot on my brush, so it seems like these watercolors might be very quick to get used up or might contain optical brighteners. I think I've said in some of my other videos that I suspect that German watercolors are formulated a little bit differently, and perhaps for this high chroma color delivery we do need some optical brighteners. But of course, only further testing will tell. So I'm going to set this sheet aside, and I'm going to go ahead and swatch my other 12 colors. I'm also going to go change out my cup of water because, as you guys can see, just swatching those 12 colors made it incredibly muddy, and I'd like to get clean swatches. These colors are also quite opaque, but they're also quite brilliant. So it's going to be interesting to see how they maintain their color and their saturation as they dry. They were very quick to activate. I will give Lukas that. Alright, art nerds, so my Lukas watercolors have had a chance to dry. I think it's time to resume our review. Alright, art nerds, let's take a moment to take a look at our Lukas watercolors. So they seem like they're still incredibly vibrant, which is nice. That was one of the things that we are testing on. Next, I am going to go clean out my very dirty cup of water, and we're going to do some lift testing. Okay, so for the lift test, these have had more than an hour to dry. I have a cup of clean water that's going to be just slightly off camera, and I have a slightly more scrubby synthetic watercolor brush. It's not intended to be a lifting brush, but it'll be a good test. And I have a clean paper towel. So I am going to demonstrate one for you guys. We're not going to go with white because that would be a little difficult to see. We'll do cadmium yellow light here. So we just kind of scrub it a little bit. Then we dab it with the paper towel. And then I'm going to use a micron to block off the area so we can see where it lifted. Now, something that might be smart to do in the future for me is to just create a zone and we can compare it that way. So that's definitely something to think about in the future. But I'm going to do lift tests for all 24 colors. So, in today's Lukas Aquarell 1862 Unbox and Swatch test, we were looking for 4 specific qualities promised to us on the box. We were looking for transparency of color, color saturation even when dry, controllability of the paint flow, so no bleeding or leaching, and easy application, quick to wet. So my experiences when swatching these watercolors, when blending these watercolors, and when lifting these watercolors are as follows. We were tipped off by the Lukas brochure that many of these colors would be opaque, semi-opaque, semi-transparent, so it's not really a surprise that during swatches, many colors are opaque and semi-opaque. So unfortunately, based on these swatches, Lukas does not live up to its promise to deliver exceptional transparency of color. I will be doing a field test with these watercolors though, and that will give Lukas a bit of a chance at redemption. The colors are still brilliant and saturated when dry, but I am concerned as to how these will layer. So that's going to be something I'm going to be further testing in our field test. Colors are very quick to activate, although they had a tendency to glop up on my Neptune synthetic brush, so perhaps pre-activation is not necessary for these watercolors. At this time, I feel like I don't really have much of a comment on controllability of paint flow, but this may become apparent with further testing. I found that all of these colors are fairly prone to lifting. None are entirely staining. However, ultramarine light is very finely granulated. It gives a really nice, even ultramarine color, which is my preference when it comes to ultramarines, but it may not be yours. And it was the most staining of these colors that I found. All of them are somewhat prone to lifting, and you guys saw the amount of scrubbing I did using a Princeton Snap synthetic brush. So I like this palette. I think it offers a lot of really beautiful colors. It is a fairly pricey palette. I did get it on sale. You guys can check the description below for prices. And before I say goodbye to you guys, I want to share just a little bit more information about Lukas and Lukas Aquarell. So again, check the description for prices and for links and for all of this information in case you want to reread it. So this was the 24 half pan set. It's available in the US through Jerry's Artorama, and they do seem to be Lukas's official dealer here in the States, at least according to their website. Lukas was founded in 1862 by Dr. Franz and named after Saint Lukas, the patron saint of painters. That is a mouthful. The patron saint of painters. Say that 3 times fast. Acquired by Daler Rowney in 2009, and Lukas also offers pigments, gouache, Cryl Acrylics, oils, and oil mediums. They offer half, tube, and whole pans, as well as empty metal watercolor palettes. They make watercolor mediums such as gum arabic, masking fluid, shellac soap, ox gall, and synthetic ox gall. There are 70 total shades available in half pan, whole pans, and in 24 milliliter tubes. Paints include a wetting agent, which is why they're going to be very quick to reactivate. And they say that these paints are pressed into the pans by hand. So I hope you guys enjoyed this unbox and swatch for Lukas 1862 Aquarell watercolor. I hope you guys will keep an eye on this channel for further testing, including our field test. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit subscribe, click the bell notification so you never miss one of my wonderful watercolor videos. And if you guys would do me a huge favor, take a moment and tell one of your other friends who love watercolor about my channel, especially if they enjoy watercolor for illustration or for comic art. Your support like this is huge for me because I'm still a very small YouTube channel and I would love to have the opportunity to grow. So if you guys have any questions or if there's anything specific you'd like to see me test these watercolors for, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, guys. I hope to see you again really soon. Bye, guys.